What's going on, ladies and gents? It is your boy Gamma here with the lovely
Juju.
Oh yeah, Juju. What are we going to be talking about today?
Porsha, Simon, Falynn drama.
Oh yeah, let's
Escape the Matrix.
All right, guys, welcome back. If this is your very first time, come on, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing a lot of videos like this, so leave a comment and tell us what you think about what we are talking about today.
Yes.
As you heard, Simon, Porsha, Falynn. Of course, there's going to be drama.
Yeah.
Now, let's get right into it, Juju. So, Simon, for those of you that don't know, he is the former husband. I believe their divorce is either still ongoing or final or about to be final.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the status is, but let's just refer to him as the former husband.
Right.
You know, for all intents and purposes, he's no longer considered her husband. Maybe on paper, but
Yeah.
he's with Porsha.
That's right.
So Simon, Falynn, Porsha, they were all on the Housewives, the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And man, this story is so messy. It's so all over the place. It's going to take us a while to kind of untangle everything.
Yeah.
But we want to talk about some specific things that not a lot of people are talking about. You know, we're going to try to deep dive and explain some of the things happening that may be causing what we're seeing on the outside.
Yeah.
You know, the behind the scenes things. All right. So let's start with some of the facts. You know, the things that we do know according to the information that's out there.
Right.
Let's start with Simon. What do you know about Simon that's factual?
Well, he has been married before.
Yes, at least twice.
Right. He has 5 kids.
5 kids that we know of.
Right. And he's about, 56? 56 years old?
On record, it shows that he's 56, at least
Yeah.
56 years old.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it we'll leave it at that for
Right.
Simon. Porsha, what do we know about her?
Porsha, 39 going on 40 this month.
Yeah, she'll be 40 in just a few weeks. By the time this video drops, a couple weeks after, she'll be 40.
That's right. And she has 1 child.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Baby
and
girl.
I think it was with Dennis, right?
Yes, Dennis.
So 1 child with Dennis. Mm-hmm. All right.
And she's also been married before.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
She is divorced.
Right. And I think that's about it, right?
Right. Dennis, I believe she was engaged too.
Oh, yes. They
So
were
she
engaged
was,
before.
previously engaged.
Right.
She was divorced, before that as well.
Right.
Now, Falynn, what is known about her?
Well, I know she has 3 kids, right?
Yeah.
3 kids, 3 boys.
Mm-hmm.
She has also been married before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's been married before, and twice now with Simon.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They
So
just
she's
divorced.
also been through a divorce, at
Right.
least now.
And I know she's about 31, 32?
Yeah, they're saying she's at least 32, I believe.
Early 30s.
I've seen 31, 32. She's basically in her 30s, early
Yeah.
30s. We can say that for sure.
Right.
All right, so now with that, let's now talk about some of the dynamics that we've been seeing. We were first introduced to Falynn, was it on Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when
First time I saw her,
most people, their first introduction to her was on that show.
That's right.
Prior to her, we did not know who she was.
No.
I'm not saying she wasn't doing anything. It was,
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, just her presence, media, social, her presence became more known through that show.
Right.
And so we knew her, or we were introduced to Falynn as Simon's wife.
Yeah.
And it was kind of crazy because I don't know if this is the first episode that she was on, but it was like a gathering at her house.
Actually, let me take it a little back.
All right.
She actually was introduced at a gathering at Porsha's house.
Oh,
For
wow.
Porsha. Do you remember
I
that?
Totally forgot.
Yeah.
So the first time we saw her on TV,
Yeah.
at least from my from your recollection, was at Porsha's crib.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we're just kind of touching on this to kind of, bring up to speed where we are now. So, the other event that we recall is when they all went to her house.
Her house. That's
I think
right.
it was like Porsha's sister.
Shamia.
Oh, okay. It was her
And
friend.
her friend, oh gosh.
Tanya.
Tanya. Yeah.
Tanya,
Yeah.
one of them, right?
Yeah, from Canada.
So, yeah, it was basically Porsha and her girls.
Exactly.
They went over Falynn's house.
For like a little pool party.
Right? And at that time, I don't think they even knew anything about Simon. I'm not even sure if they knew he existed, other than maybe they knew that she was married, right?
Yeah, because they all lined up shaking his hand like, oh, nice to meet you.
Right,
I remember that. I remember that scene. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of what we remember. Yeah. And I think that's one of the major reasons it just looks so bad, at least to us, right?
The optics,
because we're like, wait a minute, this girl was over, meaning Porsha. Yeah. This girl, Porsha, went over another woman's house. Yeah. That woman was married at the time to a man. Not even 6 months later, she's now engaged to. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So
I know.
Look, there's a ton of rumors and gossip sites out there that are just ripping Porsha and Falynn to shreds. Yeah. We don't want to do that here. We want to escape the matrix. So what we're going to do is take a different angle. Again, we're not condoning, nor are we condemning anyone. We don't know all the details, but we do want to share a perspective that I think many of you may agree to, and that is, what is causing all of this to happen? Right. Simon, right? Let's first talk about him. Right. First and foremost, this is a wealthy man, right? And we all know how it goes. Wealthy men have choices. A lot of people are talking about, why did he date this young girl? You know, she's like 25 years younger than him. Yeah. And then now he's going after Porsha. Look, he has options. I know not everyone looks at him physically as something that's a catch. Right. You know, some may even think that he looks wild or crazy or unattractive, etc. But that is really, for the most part, irrelevant. Right. You know what I mean? And we'll get to that in a little bit as to why it doesn't hold much weight, you know, his looks. But anyway, he's a wealthy man. He's well established. You know, so even if he is a broken man and has a lot of other issues, he's not going to act like most men. That has to go through the 9-to-5 grind, that have to deal with things differently. Because keep in mind, he has 5 children. Right. So imagine a single father with a 9-to-5, 5 children going through a divorce. Man. The average man, they're going to need extreme counseling, therapy. Yeah. They're going to need support from family, friends, etc. But when you're wealthy, you have the ability to kind of bounce back a little quicker. I'm not saying that it's healthy. I agree with that. Or that it's effective the way you bounce back, but you just kind of have that. You know what I mean? That's kind of what the wealth does. Whether you're getting nannies, assistants, caretakers, handlers, etc. You have a ton of resources.
That's true, because when you think of like the average like relationship, you know, or marriage, it's 2 people, and usually both people are working, right?
Yeah, they're working very hard.
Support their family, right?
Yeah. Sometimes so hard they barely have time to actually spend together. Right. They're just working to maintain the, you know, material and the things that they have, the food, clothing, and shelter. Right, right. So, yeah, again, when you're very wealthy, you know, your transitions are quite differently. Yeah. And to us, you know, people who may have to have time restraints and other things, other obligations, you know, it looks a little crazy. Yeah. Right. But again, we're going to talk about why he is probably moving the way he's been moving. But before we get into that, let's touch on Porsha. Right. Porsha's situation. One of the biggest things we're hearing about Porsha that's not really nice or friendly or kind is that she is, or could be, just a gold digger. And that was a little difficult to just kind of agree with for many reasons. Like, what are some of your reasons, Juju?
I mean, she pretty much is a woman who could stand on her own 2 feet, so to speak. Right, like, she's well off. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, so at least the show makes it look like that. Yeah. This woman has a really nice size home, nice neighborhood. She's driving all types of Bentleys and Rolls Royces and, you know, cars that cost the amount of most homes out here in Atlanta. Right. So she wasn't really struggling, if, you know, to say the least. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? And then the other thing to consider with Porsha, a lot of people haven't talked about this, but if you look at the men that she's been with, right? And I'm talking about even physically. Right. Cordell, and then Dennis, and then now you look at Simon. Right. It's not far-fetched to believe that she genuinely does find him attractive. And I'm not trying to, you know, take jabs at anyone. I'm just saying that could just be her type. Right. You know, maybe she's not crazy about looks, or if she is, that could be her type. I don't know why it's hard to believe. You know, she might be into, you know, darker men, men of a certain stature, certain look, certain energy, dynamic. And so
I think just to interject real quick, I think it's just because of how she looks from the outside.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. And you know what? And like, also the way she behaves too. She's such like a carefree,
free spirited.
So they think like maybe she's a ditzy girl that don't know anything. So she's just looking for like a Hugh Hefner type guy, or she kind of fits stereotypes,
right?
Where people's like, she's like a black Barbie doll, like she's really silly. And Porsha is not like as I hate to say, but she's not as dumb as you may think she look.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we got to give her some credit. The girl knows how to make things happen for herself.
Right.
And I feel like, given her history, isn't she like the granddaughter of Hosea?
Yes, she is.
One of the civil rights guys from back in the day. And I think there's even something called Hosea Feed the Hungry.
Yeah.
She helps out with that.
Right.
And I'm bringing that up because that's...
Caroline, she has a business. Yeah, she businesses. Yeah.
And I'm only bringing that up because those are the men that she have been looking up to as a little girl. That's part of her lineage. So now you take someone like Cordell, right?
Right.
A former NFL pro athlete.
Right.
He's well established financially speaking. And then now he's a commentator. And then you take Dennis. Dennis also is someone that was hustling and moving and shaking, building up businesses, etc. Right?
Right.
Then you have Simon.
Right.
So you do see patterns here. Right?
Yeah.
She's always kind of been attracted to men that were hustlers, men that were established.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think you brought out a really great point. You said that there was an episode maybe a few seasons back. She dated someone from her past. Someone that she went to school with.
And I think he was
Can you tell us a little bit about that, Ginger?
I believe him. This is probably going back a few seasons. But I believe he was a lawyer or someone like in government.
Right.
It was
That's true. I think he was working in government something.
Yeah.
Like he was actually working in Washington.
Right.
Something along those lines. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And he wasn't really established yet, though.
No,
Remember?
No,
he wasn't.
Yeah.
I think he was either working there, but he quit or left that job.
Yeah.
So when he came to Atlanta, he basically hit the reset button.
Yeah.
And if you guys remember that, right? That guy, some would argue, he was maybe the best looking man that she dated or went out with. But the point I'm making is this. He had a lot of things to do to get on his feet.
Yeah.
And we all know how that went. And we also remember how Porsha behaved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She was uncomfortable. I'm not going to say she was nasty or rude.
Right.
But you can tell she wasn't used to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That she wasn't comfortable with that. Like, it was almost like her patience was running really thin.
Because he would just be laying up on the couch.
Right.
When she's coming back from work
he
or
had nothing
doing
to
whatever.
do.
Right.
He was just like, go out there and get him, Tiger. She would go to the radio show. She would do, Housewives of Atlanta. Everything was based off of her. And you got to consider that. In our previous episode, if you guys haven't watched that, we'll have a link in the description, or maybe we'll drop a card in the video somewhere around here. We touched on the love languages.
Yes.
And maybe Porsha's love language is acts of service. You know what I mean? Like, she might be in a situation where she wants a man who is very capable, very stable, established, go-getter, assertive. And so Simon, again, look at the kind of trend that she's had, the history she's had.
Right.
Simon fits right into that.
Like, more so the type of relationships that were serious.
Right.
Serious.
The ones that she actually went all the way with.
Right,
and,
almost.
As a man, I'll even say this. I'm not defending gold diggers, but there are certain women from certain cultures, backgrounds, and they have traditions that really push for them to find a man that is well established.
Yeah.
You know why? Because these women, they want to have families.
Yeah.
They want to be in a situation.
Right.
I mean, come on. What's the name of the show? Real
Housewives.
Right?
Right.
We're forgetting that there's nothing wrong with being a housewife. You can still have your gigs and your businesses, etc.
Right.
I don't know why we frown upon that. If a woman has to carry a child for 9 months.
Right.
And then after the child is birth, more than likely the first 2 years, she's going to be the main one taking care of the child physically, emotionally, in every way. And it's natural for that.
Right.
It's not that you got to be a deadbeat dad. Even if the dad is there constantly, it's still the woman that takes the bulk of that.
Right.
There's
that
nothing
nurturing.
wrong with having, there's nothing wrong then with having a go-getting man.
Yeah.
That will create a situation that will allow that woman to do what she most naturally is made to do.
Yeah.
Given those circumstances. So that's why, I just kind of wanted to highlight that. Maybe Porsha's just looking for something specific, and these guys, or the guy that she's currently with, fits the mold.
Right.
Now, with all of that said,
Right.
some of you are listening like, look, if Simon was single, if she didn't meet him through a friend,
Right.
all of this would be great.
Right.
You know, it's still ugly, it's still grimy, and you know,
Right.
and I get it. So that brings us to our next point, right? Mm-hmm. Falynn
Okay.
and Simon. Let's talk about their dynamic.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting one. This is where, like I said, we have a lot of rumors, things that we
Right.
haven't confirmed yet. One of the big things that we're going to mention is that at the time of this video, maybe just in a few days, there's this interview
Right.
that's supposed to be released where Falynn is like kind of doing a tell-all.
That's right.
Regarding the situation. Like she's talking about how she feels about what happened, her divorce, what she's going through, Porsha, and even opening up about the show. So look out for that. I think it's, from what we heard, is June 10th or something like
June
that.
10th, around there. Yeah.
Yeah, so we really may do a follow-up just based on what's revealed then.
Right.
But as
Yeah.
for now, what we've seen, it took us by surprise because there was no red flags on the show, right? Like they didn't seem to
No.
have arguments or bad dynamic or anything.
In fact, he would always be with her. They would be together.
Right.
For example, like, okay, you know, when they had the pool party, he was there.
Yeah.
Right. Even on the trip, that who was it?
They took to South Carolina.
South Carolina. He was with her.
Right.
And they even questioned her. You know, they were looking at her like, okay, well, one castmate in particular.
Yeah.
But anyway, she was like, okay, why is your husband here? This is a girl's whatever. And she was like, oh, because we're best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like real talk, they would always be together.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the part that really took everyone by storm
Yeah.
and surprise is the fact that there was really no turbulence noticeable
No.
between those two.
Right.
So it was like when there was a divorce announcement, it was like, why? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What in the world happened? So
Yeah.
the rumors, again, these are the rumors, these are allegations that Simon was stepping out the marriage. But then now, recently, we're hearing rumors that she did the same.
Yeah.
That she has done it. So
right.
again, these are all alleged. We don't know what's going on and what may have prompted it.
Right.
And it may be very well true that both of them did things because I don't think you go from really being that comfortable, cozy, happy to just divorce. There has to have been something, you know, going on behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Now,
yeah.
with that, I think the divorce was made public just a few months ago. Was it back in March or not even? Maybe even April or May. It seems like it was more recent.
Yeah.
It was like just a few months ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
So once it was made public,
Right.
was it 30 days after is when we learned that Porsha is like engaged to Simon?
Listen.
Yo, help us out. Leave a comment below, guys, when it comes to these specifics.
Yeah.
And also what you think about everything that's happening with these people, because we're trying to figure it out. Like it's really murky waters that we're trying to navigate through.
Right.
And I do remember how crazy it looked because it was like, and even as we speak right now, I don't even know if the divorce is
finalized. But I know when they came out with their relationship, they were not, like Simon and Falynn, they were not divorced.
They weren't.
They weren't.
Yeah.
You know, they were separated but not divorced.
Exactly. Going through a divorce.
And it was so fast. Even Porsha almost had to like go ahead of it. Like, remember she did a posting on her I think Instagram or Twitter.
She's still kind of doing that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, in other words, explaining herself.
She's like, basically,
knows
I know
it,
this is gonna look crazy, but you know, something, but we're in love and this, that. Yeah.
She's engaged to a married man, basically.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Again, guys.
No, but that's the reality.
Yeah, leave a comment below if you know any specifics that we haven't shared as of yet.
Right.
But, you know, it's just kind of crazy because, again, in our previous video, we talked about the love language.
Right.
And I think, like, I know for a fact there are a lot of couples that don't even know this exists.
Yeah.
You know, they feel it in their heart. They experience these feelings of emptiness and these voids, right? As a result of their love language not being spoken. So when I say they don't know it exists, I'm talking about they're not even aware of the psychology and of their emotional needs and why they feel like they're being abandoned or neglected, etc.
Right.
And so they get into these relationships, you know, and again, the honeymoon phase is always amazing, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes so much so you make very strong declarations during that period.
Very strong.
While you're still riding that high wave, you're like, yo, I want to do this for the rest of my life. And who doesn't want to have that euphoric experience forever?
Absolutely. Right.
The problem is you should give yourself enough time to know if it's always going to feel like that. And then if you do have lows, how low will he go? You know what I mean? Because your lows could just be financial, you know. Maybe you got hit by something unexpected. Or maybe your lows could be you're seeing a person run around and talk about every little thing that you're going through with them.
Right.
Putting you in a bad light, cheating on you, abusing you physically, emotionally.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? Wait enough time. Give yourself at least a year or so before you start getting engaged. I'm an advocate for just being patient when it comes to love. Give yourself enough time to really get to know the individual that you're with. So this way you can know for sure, like, all right, I know how they act when things are not working the way it should. We're not, you know, they're not moving how it should, etc.
You know what? Let me ask you a question. Do you, well, I know you made this statement regardless of age.
Right.
But you know, like sometimes there will be like really like older or elderly people who would like, you know, they would date and then they would just get married like within a very short period of time. I'm talking about like, I don't know, maybe like 70s. Even then, do you think there's like an exception there?
I don't know, man. It depends on where you are, I guess. Yeah, like if you're in a what is it, a group home, a seniors home, or something like that.
It's like that's the only time.
Maybe
that's the only time where things could kind of pick up its speed.
Yeah. If you're like in one of them older people homes, retirement communities, where you're physically restrained, maybe there has to be some restrictions. For me to even feel like you should be able to marry someone in just a few weeks or months of knowing them. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, them old school people, sometimes they find a way. Yeah. You know, when nobody looking, you know, all of a sudden they get up from the wheelchair. You like, whoa, I thought you couldn't walk. Yeah. So silly. You know, it could be something real wild. You know what I'm saying? That cane, start spinning the cane when nobody looking. You're like, wait, what? Magdalene? You know, Ursula. You gotta watch out for people with them older names like that. You know what I mean? Wagner, you know, Wagner. I don't know. They got them last name,
Lester?
First name.
Lester?
Lesters. A lot of Lesters, man. So honestly, I still feel like you should give it some time. And then the older you are, maybe the less time that's needed.
Right.
Not because you're old, but because you're established and mature. You've been through all the nonsense. That's why. Not necessarily because of your age. It's just, you know, after like 50 years old, for a fact, you should know what you tolerate.
Want. Yeah, what you need.
Want.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why.
What you don't want. Yeah.
But even then, you should still have enough experiences to see them in multiple lights.
Yeah.
See them, you know, in different lights, you know, because when everyone says for better or worse, most of the time at that point, they've only seen the better.
That's true.
They don't know what the worst looks like.
Within that short period of time.
But if you've had ups and downs, highs and lows, and you've always been able to stick it through and been, you know, kept it loyal and loving, and then that's different. You have evidence of how their love is and how it could be. So that basically brings us, you know, to our final thoughts regarding Porsha and Simon. You know, they're still together now. It looks like, you know, Porsha is posting pictures of Simon.
Right.
She's like, it seems like the more rumors, the more gossip, the more negativity is being said and spread about Simon and her.
Right.
The more she's going against it.
Harder, yeah.
She's like, look, I don't care what y'all people think or say, this is my man. Like, she is really pushing it out there. But, you know, again, we want to touch on the fact that when Porsha and Simon hooked up, it's hard, no matter how crazy it looks, it's hard for us to just say, to write Porsha off as a gold digger.
Yeah.
One thing we can say, it does look very fast. You know, you can't deny that.
Very fast.
You know what I mean? Even if it is fast, we don't know maybe if they have something so substantial behind, you know, between themselves, they feel justified. But it's fast nonetheless.
With that said, what do you think is pushing them together?
Man,
so quickly.
I mean, it could be multiple things, you know. On the negative side, could be just, again, feelings of extreme void, lack of love and desperation, right? When two people meet and they have that experience with other relationships, they can really rush into a relationship together because they're sharing those voids. So it's almost like, oh, you've been through that too? You know, you've been cheated on as well? Oh, my God. So when you kind of share pain, sometimes that make you move much faster than you should.
You know, you saying that, remember the whole stripper thing with Simon? at the what I think it was what she worked at a strip club, you know.
Oh yeah. There. What Juju's talking about? There was a stripper,
and he was venting to her.
And she basically came out. She did an interview.
Yeah.
You guys probably can find it easily online. She did an interview and she talked about how Simon was hooking up with her.
Yeah,
like he was doing some wild things. Basically, it was almost like. I just want to call it for what it was. It was almost like she was a high-level escort. Yeah. Pretty much. He was giving her money and she was just linking up with him. There was no real attachment there emotionally. No. But Simon was venting to her. Yeah. Talking about how miserable he was in his marriage, etc. And so I think the reason you brought that up is because we were saying that if that is true, right? Right. And then later on, just a few weeks after he's now with Porsha. Yeah. It could be that, yes, maybe he did vent to that woman. But he also did with Porsha. You know, because when you're going through it emotionally, it could be that you're crying out for help. You're trying to find someone that cares about you. Yes. And then you're going to run into people who listen, but they don't care. You're going to run into people who pretend like they're listening or interested, but again, they don't care, right? They don't care. Until you find that one person that not only listens, maybe they can relate. And even more, they can reciprocate. Yeah. Whatever it is you're giving them and trying to get, they're ready, able, and willing to give you. So I feel like maybe, even if it was true what that stripper had said, dancer, whatever she is, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but if what she said was true, and then Simon, after doing that, winded up with Porsha, maybe it was that Porsha actually was able to soothe him, console him, support him, relate with him, and then at that point he was like, you know what, I found the one. Yeah. I mean, most of us are guilty of something along those lines, right? Yeah. Like you might meet someone that you think is friendly and cool and you're talking to them, someone that you are interested in. And then maybe you don't get anything back from them. The feedback isn't quite there. So maybe a few weeks later you meet someone else and you're sharing similar things, right? But then that person is giving you something back. Yeah. They're sharing something with you. Right. They're connecting with you. They're showing you interest. And then suddenly now you're moving forward with that person. The previous person may come around like, yo, what? Yeah. Yo, she telling everybody. Nah, you wasn't giving her what she needed. Right. She might have opened up or began to open up to you. You didn't reciprocate. So she moved on to someone that did. And the same thing goes for guys. Sometimes guys might be telling a woman certain things. Like, you know what, man, I had my heart broken, this, that, and the third. And the girl is just listening, but not giving him anything, right? Right. Then he meets a woman that he can share those same things with, and she's like completely understanding and loving. And so you can't fault somebody for telling the story more than once, because every time you get an opportunity to open up to someone, you may do it, gradually, and you'll kind of move accordingly based on what you're getting. I think that may have happened with Simon and Porsha. Yeah, I agree in terms of how quickly, quickly it just sparked off. It just, the relationship just hit the road like really, really, really quickly. So I agree. Yeah. So really, you know what, guys, we're definitely going to have to cover this again for sure. Because there's going to be some unfolding things in the next few days. Yeah, I believe we're going to try to pay closer attention to what's happening. Yeah. Because we just, we've been hearing a lot of crazy rumors out there. We wanted to give our take and let you guys know what we thought. We definitely want to hear what you guys think about this whole fiasco. Right. Before we end it, though, Juju, I wanted to ask you. We talked about maybe why Porsha would be with someone like Simon, right? Right. Her past, and we can kind of see the trends. Right. Why do you think someone like Simon would be with Porsha? Like, what's in it for him? Is it that Porsha is just like, a black Barbie? She's super thick. Let's start from the most ignorant reasons. She's like a snack. Is that what it is? Like, he's 56. He's looking for a young thing to have fun with, a PYT. Right. What do you think that he sees in Porsha? I mean, I feel like, she's a snack and some. She's an attractive woman, right? But at the same time, so you have that. But then you also have a woman who's about her business. Like, she's not like, someone just out there in the streets, doing God knows what. But she's someone who, holds herself to high standards, right? Right? Class and whatnot. So I feel like it's like in his eyes, it must be like a whole package, like the full package. Okay.
You know what I mean? She's a
Right.
businesswoman. She has her good head on her shoulder, good family, right? Ties.
Yeah.
Like,
She's
and
attractive.
She's attractive.
Physically.
Right.
And not, you got to mention this, man.
Yeah.
Simon is Nigerian, right?
Right.
Porsha, as many of us can see or many of us can really notice when in her previous marriage and even in her situation with Dennis.
Right.
For the most part, Porsha has a very submissive.
Oh yeah.
She's very like
when she's in it, she's in it.
Yeah, like she gives her all. Like you can tell. She's not like a lot of the other cast members.
Right.
They're quick to let you know, like, yo, I'll run this, and they have a different dynamic. Porsha,
in fact, they were cracking on her with Cordell, her first marriage.
Yeah, they were making fun of how quiet she is, and she got to get permission. But you know what, though? I'm gonna say this though. When it comes to certain cultures, right? That's a very attractive trait.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about, condescending, controlling men that like to abuse women and demean them. I'm talking about just understanding that in certain marriage dynamics, right?
Yeah.
It works well when you have a woman who's very complimentary to the man and vice versa. And so Porsha kind of has that. And Simon being Nigerian, and I'm not saying all Nigerian men are like this, but I can vouch that for the most part, especially in certain cultures like that, they look at women that are submissive as a blessing. Like, wow, you know what? This girl might be strong-minded. She might be business savvy. She might be very assertive in many ways. But when she's in a marriage, she's respectful.
Right.
She knows how to play her part and allow the man to play his.
Right.
Again, so I think that's a huge factor in it as well.
Yeah.
And we're giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Assuming they even got that deep with each other.
Of course.
And they're not just still on this wave of euphoric feelings. So yeah, man, that's kind of it for now. We just wanted to kind of share these quick thoughts with you guys. Leave a comment below based on anything you heard, whether you agree, disagree, what your thoughts are. If we missed anything or misstated something, we'd like to know, because we are going to do a follow-up. We're going to look at the comments and try to respond even directly to a few of your questions or statements as well. So we got to thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far in the video,
that's right.
Hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more videos. And don't forget,
escape the Matrix.